evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, we'll tell you about several Halloween events going on this weekend in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. We'll bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with state senatorial candidates Janice Bowling and Mike Winton. The annual Bark in the Park fundraiser is coming up this Saturday, and we'll give you some tips on staying safe while trick-or-treating this Halloween. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Have you heard the news? The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new and improved website. That's russellbarnett.com. With over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, then look no further than russellbarnett.com. Online service appointments, customer testimonials, and vehicle history reports, this website has it all. We're the largest Middle Tennessee family-owned dealership with 5 locations to choose from. russellbarnett.com, and why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Tullahoma Parks and Recreation plans to help you start your Halloween off right with a night of fright and an afternoon of running from zombies. You can also unleash those nostalgic chills and thrills of Halloween memories with a good old-fashioned haunted hayride on Friday, October 28th, starting at 7 p.m. at Fraser McEwen Park. The event includes People's Choice Award for the Fright Scene, pumpkin carving, and costume contest. $1 for kids and $2 for adults will get you a ride through the frightening forest and a vote on each contest.
Have you ever run a race where you feel as though your life is on the line? Your heart will be racing the entire time while you are being chased by zombies at the 2nd annual Zombie 5K Challenge. Runners will wear a belt with 3 flags, which is your 3 lifelines. Complete the run with any or all flags and you will be a survivor. But it won't be easy. The zombies are on the course and are hungry and will be wandering around trying to take your flag to infect you. The event will be at the Tullahoma Airport on Saturday, October 29th, starting at 4:30 p.m. The cost is $20 and you can sign up online at Reg2Run, and that's REG, the number 2, run, RUN.com. Or download the registration and bring it to D.W. Wilson Community Center.
Newsleader's Marilyn Ewing spoke with a couple of folks from the Shelbyville area who are planning events also this weekend.
Sylvia Pinson, Judy Williams joins us on this segment. It's great to have you and see you.
Thank you, Marilyn. We're glad to be here.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on there in Shelbyville.
Oh, of course, always.
Yes, it's the Halloween season, fall. I love it. Lots of festivals and things, and it's just a lot of things going. So this weekend, something really big.
The Blue Jeans and the Goblin Dance.
Yeah.
And we're featuring our own Chase Clanton and the Vintage Vibes.
Yeah.
He is amazing, and the dance starts at 7 to 11, and it's $10 a person at the door. So come on and join us.
That's right.
And I will be there right in the middle of the floor.
Now, something really cool about this is the fact that you're giving prizes for the best jeans and the best costume.
Correct.
Oh, yes. Okay?
Yes.
So it's important that you really take time and pick the particular costume because you may win a prize.
The Wicked Witch over here will be there in costume.
Sounds good. This is the first annual for this. I've never heard of this one.
Oh, it's been going on for quite a while.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we do a dance around this. And it's, I don't know when it got named this, but
maybe that's what threw me off.
Yes, yes,
right.
But it's been going for quite a while.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of good dancers, and we have a lot of surrounding communities love to come in and dance with us.
Right.
So
That's
come
right.
on down.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Coming up as well, of course, the big Festival of Trees. Always a big hit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, tell me about this. What happens there?
Well, it's the 22nd annual.
All right.
It was begun several years ago by a president of that time, so we're celebrating our 22nd anniversary. The main feature is just beautiful, decorated Christmas trees. We have individuals who decorate, clubs, businesses, all kinds of themes and ideas. We do run a general theme that's kind of optional, and this year it's Christmas songs.
Okay.
And among the trees, we will have Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Yes,
Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
And so we'll have some good themes going on, but some beautiful trees.
Exactly. Now, a lot of vendors and such are included in this event?
Well, the first day of the event,
Okay.
the day we open, we have vendors who sell handmade crafts.
Yes.
Not anything commercial, but handmade.
Right.
That can be hand-canned food and pickles and jellies and all kinds of things.
yeah.
Or it can be handmade jewelry, whatever.
Exactly.
But that's a fun day.
Oh yeah, exactly. Can't wait for this.
Me
Very
either.
festive.
Very
Love this.
festival.
And it's at the beautiful Fly Building. All of the events that we've mentioned so far going on at the Fly Building. Perfect
Right.
location.
Perfect
Yeah,
location, right
exactly.
off the square of Shelbyville.
Exactly.
And
204.
plenty of parking.
Yes.
Plenty of parking.
Yes, exactly.
We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with senatorial candidates Mike Winton and Janice Bowling.
There also was a recent article about the fact that the governor appointed a task force, a very large task force, to look into the question of rural Tennessee, so a lot of the counties in rural Tennessee falling behind in development. And the task force was to look at that and see what could be done about it. They have come back with a number of recommendations, and they are going to require funding. So to do anything with this, the state is going to have to come up with some money. And that there, of course, is always the rub. But they wanted to provide money for health care training, incentive pay for teachers, and economic development, and so on and so forth. So generally speaking, you may not have had a chance to look at this in detail, but generally speaking, what is your take on this, and can we come up with the money to do the job? Senator Bowling?
Tom, absolutely, we can come up with money. We have a state budget of $38.9 billion right now, and $10.8 billion of that goes to provide health care for people who can't afford health care themselves. So 1/3 of our budget, where most states are not even providing 23% of their budget, Tennessee provides over 33% of our budget for health care. Then we have $10.4 billion that goes to education, and then we have another $5 billion that goes to social services. But in the heart of Tennessee, where agriculture is still the #1 product in the state of Tennessee, we have our rural counties who are losing representation in Nashville because of the last census. Most 60% of the representation in Nashville now comes from urban areas who don't have a clue what it is for us. For those of us who live in rural areas, they just don't even understand some of our challenges and some of our opportunities. We've got to make certain that there's equity in the deliverance of services to those of us who reside in 80 of the counties of Tennessee. So we're about 60%, at least more than 60% of the counties, but we're only 40% of the representation.
Okay, and
we're working on that, and the issues that they have brought forward, one of the number one issues is fiber, high-speed broadband to all of rural Tennessee, and that was such an important issue that it's a standalone, and that was an issue that I had brought forward is the electricity of the 21st century. We've got to get that available in rural Tennessee.
Okay.
Tom, you know, as much as it seems to always have been a tradition of our state, and I guess most states, urban Tennessee has always been kind of a trickle-down effect to rural America or rural Tennessee. I know growing up in Grundy County, you know, it was easier for the cities of Tullahoma and Manchester and Coffee County and surrounding counties to have good educators when sometimes our schools lacked in that. You know, if we look at the budget today, we have millions and millions of dollars in a rainy day fund that has been placed there, and we had an opportunity in health care alone to pass Insure Tennessee, which would have funded not only the health care for the expansion of people that could not, and working class people could not get insurance and needed insurance coverage. Through that, we've lost several hospitals within the state, and it's terrible that we lose health care, but it's also terrible we lost all the revenue. So most of those were in rural counties. And if we look back today, if we need to start fundamentally being sound with that, our education system, the way to get out of poverty is through education. And we have unfunded mandates, we have unfunded BEP, fully funded BEP, and our educators are being villainized and forced into doing things that they don't need to be doing. They need to be educating our children.
A big issue here was incentive pay to get teachers to serve in the rural counties.
You know, I meet with educators just in nearby Marion County that are driving into the state of Georgia because it's a $9,000 annual raise. Just for driving 30 miles. And you know, if we're going to stay productive in our rural counties, we're going to have to step up and take care of those issues.
Okay. Well, let's pick another hot button issue, and that is gun control.
And Tom, to that, let me just add though that this past year we raised the money that's going to education in Tennessee, one of the highest. We're spending more than most states, and it was raised to $5.2 million for K through 12, $5.2 billion K through 12, and $5.2 billion for higher education, and over $200 million of that went directly to pay raises for teachers.
Okay.
It was indicated that it went for teachers, but in some situations, the teachers never got that raise. The Board of Education used that money in different areas.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up after these messages.
Hi, I'm Mike Winton, and I'm running for State Senate for the 16th District of Tennessee. Raised by a single mother who worked multiple jobs to raise our family, I understand the value of hard work and the obstacles met by many members of this district. Because of this, I'm committed to ensuring that you have access to education and health care. Whether I'm on a mission trip or running my business, I always remember it's about our witness and not about me. Be sure to vote for me, Mike Winton, so that our district can win with Winton.
This ad paid for by the candidate.
I see a train a-coming, it's rolling up the track, and it looks like that train's loaded with a real good Democrat. Mike's headed up to Nashville, that's where we need him to be. And if we all vote for Winton, we'll finally have a state senator who really represents you and me.
Be sure to vote for me, Mike Winton, so that our district can win with Winton.
Would you drive a few extra miles to save thousands on a new or pre-owned vehicle? If you answered yes, do yourself a favor and come see us at Stamingham Ford in Lewisburg. Right now, we're offering the Ford Focus for $16,455. This vehicle is automatic, power windows, and power locks. Or check out our F-350s, up to $10,000 off. Come see us today at Stamingham Ford. You'll get the same selection of savings as the other guys, but customer service of a small town dealership. And remember, If anyone can, Stan can.
Welcome back. The annual Bark in the Park fundraiser for the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is coming up this weekend. Jim spoke with Teresa and Jacob from the shelter about the event.
We're pleased to have joining us now from the Tullahoma Animal Shelter, Teresa and Jacob. And Jacob's been here on a regular basis, I think, pretty much. Yes, okay. And today he's going to share the spotlight with Teresa because we got some big things that we want to talk about coming up relative to the animal shelter. Bark in the Park, tell us about that.
Yes, Bark in the Park is our 13th annual.
Yeah.
And we're going to be holding it October 29th at Wagner Park from 10 to 2. This year we do have a Halloween theme. And you may have seen this in the background on some of our commercials, but this is the Bark in the Park t-shirts this year.
Oh, cool.
As always, designed by Donna and Phil Petty at the Sweatshop. And we have some great new things this year. Kind of rethought Bark in the Park a little bit this year. It's our 13th year. We're going Halloween theme. We're not doing any vaccinations, no microchips. That's not fun for a dog.
Right.
So we're going to have more dog games and contests, and we're going to have more booths set up. And one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, instead of a cakewalk, it's going to be a pup cakewalk.
Yeah, cool.
So they get pup cakes, and we'll have the bobbing for weenies, and we're going to have the bubble machine going, along with 8 contests. And this year we're going to have 3 crownings. We're going to have a Mr. and Miss Halloween, Halloween, and then a Mr. and Miss Junior Tullahoma Canine, 5 years and under, as well as a senior Tullahoma Canine, Mr. and Miss 6 years and older.
Okay.
And we have a lot of businesses that have been generously to donate to our silent auction. One important thing I would like for all your viewers to know is that you will see this up by a jar at the admissions table where you buy your tickets and your t-shirts. And we have a wonderful person in the community who has agreed to match up to $5,000 every donation in that jar.
Oh, okay. Good.
So we want as much money as possible to go in that jar on the day of Bark in the Park.
And is this relative to, I think you use the money in Bark in the Park for medical care for the animals?
Yes, medical care.
But you are also raising money to build a new shelter. Is this related at all?
Okay, we will have the bricks and the brick forms available if you would like to buy a brick or contribute to the building fund. However, Bark in the Park is strictly to raise medical funds.
Okay.
Because we do have all of our dogs vetted, and we do spay and neuter every dog adopted with a $35 adoption fee.
Right. And that's got to be really important, the spay and neuter part of, of course, to help control the population of animals.
Yes, it is.
In our city. So
we don't want to contribute to the problem, so we want to make sure every dog adopted gets that free spay or neuter.
Right. And I would imagine the medical care for these animals could be pretty significant over the course of a year.
Yes, and we work strictly off donations, and we average about $17,000 to $20,000 a year in medical expenses, and this is getting discounts from the veterinarians. So we have a lot of heartworm cases in Tullahoma, which is caused by a mosquito bite, and it can cost up to $1,000 to treat that one animal.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have your others that may come in sick or injured.
Right.
And then preventative care is very important.
Right. And that's primarily, as I said, that's primarily what this fundraiser, Bark in the Park, is about. But it appears to me, and I've been to several of them, that it's a lot of fun for the dogs and also the owners.
Oh, it's going to be great. This year we're also going to have doggy trick or treat.
Yeah.
So the first 100 or so dogs gets a free trick-or-treating bag.
Yeah.
Very cute. Every dog who enters a game is going to get a free Zany's Fortune ball. And we're just going to have a great time that day. And people and their owners will be able to go to every booth and trick-or-treat with their dog.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like fun. You know, folks, if you don't realize it, these folks down at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter put a lot of work and effort and care, because I think I'm pretty sure that they actually love these animals. So
Yes,
No.
and we're very blessed to have the support of the community as well as some awesome volunteers.
We'll be right back with more Newsleader in just a moment.
The Tullahoma Animal Shelter's 13th annual Bark in the Park fundraiser is Saturday, October 29th from 10 to 2 at Wagner Park. It's a day of family fun to raise money for medical care for dogs in the no-kill shelter. Sponsorships, silent auction items, and volunteers are needed. Admission is free and tickets are available for games and food. If you'd like to help out, contact Teresa Holt, 931-454-9580, Animal Control at tullahomatn.gov, or visit the website.
Welcome back. Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell stopped by to give us some tips on staying safe while trick-or-treating this Halloween.
Interesting time of the year for you guys and your police force, I bet.
Well, it is. The goblins are coming out, and this is the weekend for Halloween activities. So, yes, we'll have a couple nights of a little more vigilant patrolling on our part, but we do like to take advantage of this segment and talk about some of our Halloween safety tips. We try to do it regularly. It'll be in the newspaper, things of that nature, but it's always a good reminder so that someone can share with their kids and kind of what we from the police department are saying about Halloween. We want everybody to have a good time because, as y'all were talking before, we all have good memories when we were younger of Halloween and the activities.
And things were more fun when you're younger.
Fun, and now that we look back, it's probably like we would not condone some of the things now that we did when we were kids.
Not.
But it's still a fun time, and we want the community to have fun. But safety is always an issue. Not only for the child safety, but our vehicle traffic, the concern for strangers and things of that nature. So we've got about 12 topics that we like to share with the kids. So if we can kind of talk about some of those,
sure,
unless
absolutely.
you had something else you wanted to do.
No, that sounds good. This is something we probably actually ought to do and stick to the script.
We need to do.
Yeah, we really need to do that this time of year.
And some things we just seem to have a good time at. But and I'm going to read them because there's, like I say, about 12 of them, and if I try to go by the memory, I'll forget something. Children should be accompanied by an adult or an older sibling. I think that's pretty understandable. Don't trick or treat alone. If it's small children, they should stay in their neighborhood. If they're going to another neighborhood, be sure you know where they're going, who they're going with, what their route's going to be. Good time for parents to talk to the kids about not going into someone's house, especially if you don't know them. Don't try to pet someone's dog. Because, you know, a lot of people have their dogs out and they dress them up, and everybody thinks, oh, isn't that cute, and they want to pet them. You know, stay away from someone else's pet. Carry a flashlight, because a lot of places that are dark, street lights aren't going to be there. Don't carry sharp objects. A lot of kids, you see them, they're running from yard to yard.
And kids are going to run.
They're going to run,
that,
and inevitably, they're going to trip on something. Their costume, a hole in the ground, the sidewalk, whatever. So we don't want them to be carrying something sharp if that happens.
Right.
The big thing, as you said, kids get excited, they're going to run. We don't want them to run between parked cars. We talk because there's a lot of traffic out on the road. And just as the driver's trying to get their kids out, they're not really being real vigilant about everybody else around them. So kids, don't run between cars. Stay on the sidewalk. Cross at crosswalks. The big thing, it's kind of become the unwritten rule, if the porch lights are not on, don't go ring the doorbell. You know, those people are either not home, they don't want to participate in in the activity. So if the house is dark, just keep on going.
Right.
We talked about walk, don't run. A lot of people want to wear masks, and we would recommend, if you're wearing a mask, to take it off when you're going from house to house so you can see. And a good alternative may be wearing face paint instead of a mask. Parents, look at your candy, the kids' candy. If you see something that looks like it's been adulterated or messed with, call the police department, and we'll come out and take a look at it. You know, we may do nothing more than just take the candy.
Right.
But if we start getting a lot of reports in the same area, then obviously we'll have to look at that. Be careful with jack-o'-lanterns, candles. Don't have lit flames where the kids will be, or with those costumes nearby. So those are just some basic things. It's a good chance for parents, though, to talk to their kids about safety during a night like this. Those are for the kids, but then we also have some recommendations for the parents. Don't park your car within 25 feet of a fire hydrant.
Now that's pretty important, isn't it?
That's important,
yeah,
because there's some areas where we have so much vehicle traffic. If we had an emergency, our fire trucks couldn't get down the road, the ambulances couldn't get down the road. So it's very important that you not block the roads. But yes, don't park within 25 feet of a fire hydrant. That's all the time. That's not just Halloween, but that's always. Don't park within 30 feet of a stop sign. Obviously, that's for visibility so people can see it. You can't park within an intersection. And the big thing that we see on Halloween are golf carts and other motorized vehicles other than cars are not permitted on the road. Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean you can get your golf cart out and drive your kids down the road. You just can't do that.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Keith Barnett here with the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and we have your next truck. From the Ford F-Series, the Ram, Chevrolet, or the GMC, then look no further than the Russell Barnett family. With over 350 new and pre-owned trucks to choose from, now is the time to buy. Stop by one of our 5 locations. That's Russell Barnett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Chevrolet GMC, Ford of Winchester, and Russell Barnett Ford and Kia of Tullahoma, or visit us on the web at russellbarnett.com. Why buy anywhere else?
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1963 at 85 degrees. The record low was in 1942 at 24 degrees. Average high on this day is 68 and the average low is 43. Partly cloudy weather expected tonight with a low of around 54. Mostly sunny weather in the forecast for Friday with a high of 77 and a low of 54. Mostly sunny weather in the forecast again for Saturday with a high of 81 and a low of 56. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on Newsleader 6, wishes you and your families a fantastic weekend. Thank you.